was my mouth when I'm more papa. I found I said, "You need to make this what don't you?" So your family that in here, and I owe Asante. But if I put your way, now addition in our official pa. You would have 2023. This is the first time I'm in your share away the so now. Bring your brain. More me to me, friend, more man to me, and friend, no more friend me. Ne mo a to me send me no money at the day nyina me dem ase nyakopon sham afisha paso enkoma mo ni mabushie nyina na ye bompa say afia ye gudemu nyame ntonso pa emfangu ye nyina ye da ye sonso na afa afefufura ye baba gudemu which will be 2024 no na ye bi so ade ehunu nyina atumi abe na sene ye no dwumadi so no Ghana nkomo na ye di hyase pe ne ya som na ya shase edi hu nkomo se de be ya ekodu ni mpompon so a otumi ahwe ni ye nyina no you be able to make a decision out of your discussion and the aba is e fi aba na ye di okowe mo the NPP amanyoko no mo a nipa hudu obeso otu franka de mamanyoko no ebi a woye ministers e di wanduma to ho sane se wo pese wo shase se wo bo apro Alan Kyeremanten abba bontin abba declare say wono de say ko ban say party no ebie nkrate mu ayade a oboko wofa na wagina se yento ne so aba no be ye frankatufo edema and NPP amanyoko no sorry na ana nipa hudu a etanechi some are party members, some are leading members of the NPP, some are former members of parliament, some members of parliament near the day. And when you know what tonnage, you see a bisa almost a DM party and no man and you know when you say I was a one and now a beso NPP no more not your 2024 election. Now a former member of parliament, a former minister, Honorable Catherine Afeku, a former MP for a Valo Edra constituency in the Western region, or also the former minister for tourism, art and culture, or no, and many no Babetri and Como. Ube Piemo after strategic communications, or no, and or yet Titania, or that, sa Edmacono, ne Afam, or Dano, or no, many no Babetri and Como, Sans and Nipa Binaka, say Ube Piemo. One stand supporter of Alan Kyeremanten. Babies answer no pray, and I say no pray. Honorable, baby aboko.
Nyame Adom dachihini ye ma wafisha pa na ene de me so ba hu show no so echia wetiefu nyina da nyame asese wa maye afeba kwa ka ho.
Echiefu da say. Minister, my minister say we are former Minister of State, a former member of parliament, a leading member of the NPP for that matter. Who support Alan Kyeremanten?
Because I see what he has and what he can do for Ghana. Makuma muno medemenya to form masone so me hu se berema Alan Kyeremanten party no epitumi Yepetumi 2025 January 7th wono ena mema kumamu madwenkyere ene nkrofo bibiri am no mo di komo e de omo anu atefom analysis on my no we feel very strongly he's the right man to lead to deliver NPP to NPP.
For you to be able to say it will be a right and as when you're the right man would depend on the achievement over the years. I didn't need the end of what me achieve because Benaka said, ministry and no was his answer now, or resigning from that ministry. He took the growth from 7%. He has dropped it to 4%. And in a report card, because and a report card and so
that you know, I say, what kind of I say you isolate the trade ministry from the entire government or the entire global. But say, it is not in isolation. Yem from a show. Ghana, which was the first term of the NPP government, we were actually flying. You would say that the government was doing extremely well. And then COVID hit. all of a sudden. So any Ministry of Trade and Kwana, it took a hit. It is across board. And then another global catastrophe hit Ukraine. Ufading in our twin chain cry me makuma mufis a Ministry of Trade and Industry. The omutumi against all odds under the leadership of the NPP Yura Akufo-Addo. It did well as compared to other economies. It did well. And the hodie and your honorary report card a bind ye nyina ye wo omanimu ye who say we took a hit. Even under those circumstances, we were still supporting one district, one factory. We were still doing the strategic anchor development, automobile industry against all odds. We were still allowing Exim to support private sector. We were still doing Ghana Enterprise Agency, giving support the defunct NBSSI, Yedane Enterprise Agency, EMA SME support. We were still putting up Africa Continental Free Trade Area against all odds. And then there kind of track record in the midst of the challenges, which was global, which was national. Yura Alan Kyeremanten, with the little resources he had available, he was not perturbed. Kakra Yina Etea Nie no. Inti anoni de mijina so defending ye kuo ya ban. Ebi ma besenko na strategies we are keke no money bi. They didn't have crisis, but we had doom so. They didn't have crisis, but the economy was a mess. Inti NPP first term, nobody can dispute that say ye bore ye homodin. Second term say ye COVID and ye Ukraine and ye national and international and global crisis inka baby e de call and numpo ye yade sin e bi no 8 years and sa issues anyway. So it is not about him as an individual, it is about the entire global situation and how well he managed under the circumstances.
The Vice President of the Republic, Kennedy Japan. Now a colleague member of Parliament.
He's still a good friend.
Contest. Why Alan?
Oh, send you kind of sadness when you mean in the year. And now won't go for a body wage be brave almost. Oh, yes, and you are not being fair.
Yes,
you are not being fair. And actually, I said, what's on this way? Generic said there are contestants.
Contestants,
Omodoso.
Argentina.
I did my research. Menu baby and me fee. I based it on 3 things: loyalty to the party, faithfulness to the cause, and staying the course. So we share Yura Alan Kyeremanten abakosema from 90 so. Young Executive Forum, founding member of the party, paid up dues member, contributor par excellence, and he has been there for the party. From Kofon Mabreso, Sunyani Congress, and he was one of the youngest leading stars in the party. Wampaba, yes, enu so now what yes, only your president, I'm call 2-3 times, but still he has been true and faithful and loyal, dedicated to the cause of the NPP. Nyobi sano, because a minute next year 24/7 because wasom wa brem ba onjemu, and he has been consistent from day 1. 98 in was say di enuma ama emebunu oye dwedifo hene, jobs for the people, cash for the people. The same mantra, the same policy, he has stayed the course. May America for bro be a friend stick to itiveness. Baby ojina na ojina se mabuni adwuma asumji wo fie se sika wo obotomu a ebusuafo hia wo kobi berma no wasom party enye so oti baby ani akofa na ba o Alan Kyeremanten Young Executive Forum ye NPP a wo mo mrantia na sebi edwedie ankwankwa adwumadie wo mo nsem no. They met for more than 5 years consistently every day no eno ni MPP ni ye hwe service, commitment, loyalty, faithfulness, being there when everybody is gone. That is the attribute. And no, and I'm imagining so said no. Nipa say me di na chia ebeboa.
Being loyal, being
to
active.
The party.
Yes.
To the party. A party ni dinimu
and they for grofo we are omo person omo nyina contest. One na nye lawyer, one na nye active.
And say eno no kwa ne sa na che say interview me ya beton obi o. Me na me say mahwem. Masone so. Say ye test, they be the first, they be the second, but all nyina were the same classroom. To me, Catherine Abelema Afiku. Me share ye na me son so no. I am comfortable following Alan Kwadwo Kyeremanten. That is where I come from.
Na omo amaka na.
Omo nya ye party for. Afi ne ye beko against you we ye internal contest. Ye tete nkrofo be enkono. Nyame ye Adom delegates. Wo mo do so. Etie esu no. Etie ekai na wo mu yi nipa ba ko a. Ye nyina ye be ba be kan wa bom se akoko ba tan ne ne ba na ye di akire. Sa na NPP ati ba me a metie a wo ne me da achi ne di nkomo yi. E na me madwin me menye delegate ba me madwin and it says yewura Alan Kwadwo Kyeremanten baton no efi yewura akofado nsem ne ba ne nsem a obetumi the power ama NPP eye madwin
and
nkofo be so e support it
oba na NPP mu a ne ba mu ache o ye de ni mu fretete sa mantra no e na nkofo be na ehwe say o hwe de Alan na ya o onye nanado a contest somewhere in 2007 near the idea uncle some run of crowd mu, you know, coming from that end we are contesting now to now until we be now because a time was so I remember I said somewhere in 2007 the current president statement said onufri where Alan neba is it for that reason say muhun say I said oba ya che ni time na so nti enye mo ma
enye enunko a eka ho a statement here. Another sister station of yours asked me the endorsement that came from the president in 2007. Your testimony and but that is not the only criteria. Remember, the delegates will decide. The delegates are the ultimate decision makers. But abakosam ebwa. So we show your party anymore abakosam ebwa. You cannot lord it over the delegate. Until you say, Ahubrasimwa, wo bamunan so, wadinejuma esi. President Ajiatum, we shirano, was say, I wish you well in your future endeavors. When you are letter, it's very loaded message. Wadinejuma ebebe on the 16th of January. And now, what didn't plan, ne aniswadi huno, GTP. Say yenya delegate say between akasa. I am not a delegate. I am an opinion leader. Yes, you betie. Na yes you bode no. Na ye tumi ahwe e ma mamuno atenase na komamu na niswade huno eye etotosre eye ahobrasim. E na wode aba oman nanim. But delegates no. Omo ebusuafo they work with people. So these are the influences that we are hoping will hear the man of the moment. Now, also, Edo Madrinchre, Akache delegates say, oh, Samunya Modema, Wafakwadra, and Kabebwa. That is all we are doing. You will not be able to force anyone to do anything without their volition. Okay. Until a year and sre. I worked for Kufo, it worked for Akufo-Addo, it can work for Alan. Yenimwamu flitete.
It is true. He has been in the party for a while. Now don't forget, say, not our buying him and not our resigning. Now I buy no you were part of it. They say I buy no, I said, they say no man mum now resigning.
And what moment I think it's exaggerated. Actually, you know, so yes, Anna, you are not being fair to the NPP government. I buy go through some crisis. Yes. When it was really tough. Alan Kwadwo Kyeremanten, Muhammad Aroma, Obasempa, Ebejuju Akuma, cabinet ministers. He was one of the few that I heard openly assuring people, say, Achia na emuye. Secondly, Paul Adom had an extensive and excellent interview. So he was at the front line, in the war zone. Into Abayino, crisis ye ko, Musesi, I will be dear dancers, say, ye free mo. So, what person will kokosum. It will only be fair on President Akufo-Addo's government that you step out and allow government business to continue. Now, wo personal dream, and the president accepted it. You are a selfless leader. Now, my government business runs, and then you do your own thing as per the calendar. And see, the government is on an even keel right now. Winning, yako IMF, 2023, 2024, first quarter of 2025, we are in this jacket. Yeah, the IMF, ebe stabilize it, your GDP, your economy, and then the baton passes on to the person with a plan. It's Mr. Timing, no, yeah. Economy entertain pansign away from you. A year day, you know, the Musa Bema.
But
assurance.
Oh, pass the baton no to the next person. Mo babe mano sa kunya na hope say and I say ko ban say Alan mo di sa baton no babe mano no.
And you are a delegate.
Yes, he has a plan. This is a person who is part of the government.
Yes.
And the plan no one you know. Why wouldn't you rather give the plan to the current president? No executive plan.
He has been there for 6 years. That's it. He has given. But in the chest of patches and be an ambition. So I could also agree. I don't know some funny plan.
We are not talking about
we are talking about I'm just giving you the level playing field. They say Obi or one and Niswadi Huno. Yasum. Emre Swan, say driver ni mate and yabako. We mate dear. Was with your license over kaka. And see, there is nothing wrong in having an ambition.
But one who want to ask the question says, there's nothing wrong in
there's
having
absolutely
that
nothing wrong.
But
and your secret,
if you are part of a government, not say a dream, and that dream no usu say a ma okonya na obedi enimu, obetumi decide dream na ye adwuma ma Ghana atuma fa yentuma pefra. When you have yourself in a position, a cabinet member for that matter. That's who was our plan way, you know. Why won't you give it to the same party?
That's
the president.
That's not my strategic anchor industries. Automobile ya building way more Nissan abagana, Volkswagen abagana, Toyota wagana, Kyeremanten crowd all the peso. We have these Asian tigers with companies manufacturing and assembling in Ghana. That is part of the vision. One day, one event, I'm going to say one district, one factory. And you will use enabled industries. Okwa contemporary or okwa takwadom maybe or sabelugu rice. Enti aniswadi no e wonimu bebre, wodi bebre boy. And yet we nkwa Kofo Abreso ye minister. The wonimu ne ebaye. Yewura Kofo Abreso ye minister. The wonimu na ba. Nothing stops you, even that to step out and execute your personal dream. That is what is called ambition.
The statement, Eka Assembly said, on the opportunity, some of the ministries or person emerge some of the ministries. Is this something that or propository the current president Awanye?
That would be speculative, and it will not be fair on him because and I was not anywhere. Remember, I left cabinet early part of 2019, so I cannot hold brief for that.
Yes, because
this is his vision. And he said, one can and I say, now when one farmer that would be speculative.
Yes, but for the first
that would be
speculative.
Yes.
Ministry no ube merge meaning say sitting as a minister now you feel say some of the ministries nanke hunya nanko sanke emerge that.
And you na drink so and I'm catch us a driver ni mate nyepe. So if you push it, then you are saying, say, he should have usurped the powers of the sitting president and done his own thing. When you are made a cabinet minister, you are a supporting cast. You are a supporting cast. And no interest said, be the wo trimina, who should go. I dream they be a for for the time I could for Ebecono, no buy no, so a cabinet minister or Chre Nadrin. Does that mean he withheld things from Kufuor? No. When you want to be a leader, you keep your vision intact. You share, but not to everybody. At the appropriate time, if you are given the opportunity, you execute. And I don't think it's here or there. I dream the day from a CCI. Said I'm a tourism minister. A year of return. But we didn't think about beyond the return. Does that mean it was not good? No. And see, it will only be fair. Say, ni panel, as you sit here, that you have a way of running your program. What's not idea for?
Delegates or more. Your chapter from the year 25 years. Eba down most of them and said Papa. Really, when it comes to the foundation from the NPP party, most of them and said Papa. The Papa Brababontianka said, look, Anka will resign in Temwa, Anka you have the opportunity to go back to these same delegates, most of them, and said that Papa. Do you think as at the time or resigning, you could have done that earlier?
And you know, what the drink it for three things you have mentioned. mene wuti Kwame Nkrumah ye nim no. There is no way you can argue say wo Nkrumah me Nkrumah single penny me hu no. Enso minimum Kwame Nkrumah. So Alan is a value brand and a brand name. Anybody and everybody who is a card carrying member in the NPP knows of him. Enunti na wasi form. So yeah, anytime see a person kai. Yeah, yes, no. This is an exaggerated research by somebody who is being mischievous. But Kwame Nkrumah, me de be one am dem example. Ma meto no. Nso me nim no, mechi me di no one dance here. Say yate. En ye one kratemu any TV, even the archives of Ministry of Information. When I was working there, we read about Nkrumah. Yewra Alan Kyeremanten, obi a oye party nipa mapa enim no ebia wonchia ne nsem ebia wo hu ni say, but they cannot discard the value, the brand of Alan. Ebia na wo be polling station no na afei na wo te ne nkadia ene che say na party no sebe na ye nka abakosem wo mpeso aso enye no kreda eye propaganda bia ye titimu pasa yenim no ene yenim ni frititi.
Your friend Catherine Afriku ono ena me ne twetwe nkomo abusunya betwa en ho aba ye ba ye ba hwehwe oni kene Japan atena parliament waye na damfo pen
oda ho ye madamfo
oni natu anamo a is it not a betrayal someone supporting the colleague MP name or supporting the power for abusunya etwa en ho aba ye ba betwa Yakoya saying about your tour and command so our many former minister for tourism, art and culture, Honorable Catherine Afriku, and I mean Eddie and Komoa. Honorable, may come break and Nami Bisa you have been in Parliament. Ken is your friend. He's still your friend. In fact, we know what Sanya is it a sort of a betrayal? Say a colleague member of Parliament and so air the same post. What decided say won't come inside, who come the power for side? Why?
Former agric minister because I resigned him to be the former count. Hey, my colleague. My name is called Parliament 2018 and Isha Kwada. So since you massive, won't be fee. Ne nuaba. Worry. Me direct. So ne busunya cry. We are collab together. So Joe got if you Western region or that way MP or you're my colleague. So when you single out Yewra Kennedy and you are not being fair to the other colleagues who are also, in fact, my best friend is Boache Jakum. It is not about friendship and it's not about allegiance. Mesi masoni nyomaso. Ubia esefata. But I can only follow one person. That does not make me an enemy to other equally competent friends who are also vying. But I can only support one. Inti yakuma mume obetumi se menekere di nkomo pa dia emesi ni campaign manager. He's a very good friend and I still respect him. Me na me say I'm a volunteer for Alan Kyeremanten. Ho na me wo.
And ne kasa o kasa yi nyina. Which part of the statement na wo feel say ebetumi resolute with the Ghanaian pop.
You can say me mu do but three na pese me no discuss it. It's the primacy of private sector. Say ankwankwa adwuma ye be hye kena ye be boa because all the industrialized nations when the private sector leads development is assured. Intel no ye number 1 say ye be boa ema ankwankwa adwuma apeja. So people are entrepreneurs by right and by might and by finance and an arrogance of power. Eyana yenum be ma bipa wo parliament 8 years my cabinet minister eyana tumi ebehye wonsemu a se o ka ye nti obi a na nipa wire fi ne ho na homema so ne kasa tantantan Yewra Alan Kyeremanten as one of his 7 points agenda say he will not tolerate arrogance of power.
Now arrogance of
service
power
in humility. Now let me land. Service in humility. Eyana ye can arrogance of power no be any kodi politicians messenger or what office ye dey letter so man kra no we so no water free no asanso atare so when you adwuma who call receptionist bi wa ahantan tantantan those people have gotten jobs who forget how it came to them and where they started. So arrogance of power is not only limited to politicians. Every sphere of life. Sorry them cry. You know I didn't see you myself for them. Obezo chia so for cry ni buo for men man so. Your mouth to me so kai ahobrasi mu abebi efi na wo de ahobrasi edition. That is what he's referring to, not just MP, DCE. No, all of us in this nation serve God with humility. When you're given a leadership role,
trying to industrialize this country with the private sector. Currently, as we speak, we share the private sector. Now, even most of the companies that would work Ghana go into it, and you realize that you have foreigners who are managing these enterprises and these companies. If you want to drive this country with the private sector, and the indigenes of this country, Ghana for no, are not being seen worthy to manage the affairs of companies, how then are you driving it?
That is exaggerated. Yeah, na bebre no, baby will be always in the pankasa. We have a lot of Ghanaians who are industrialists. We have many of them. So you can't back them kakra Rollins Abreso, nyame finding crazy boachi mattress no ne companies bebre mean soap na de pam pam na entrepreneurial spirits that way you move in the 50s and 60s no can't form no. There are people with entrepreneurial. Tayeka say, yes, you have foreigners overshadowing, but there are strong, formidable Ghanaian industrialists. Yura Alan Kyeremanten. What will be from Young Executive Forum, and our day NY #1, empowering the indigenes. The indigenes. No one mono are frontliners of the drive for this GTP. It's a global village. Want to make us a Ghana phone and then Ghana. So yes, you took will be chrome. So we don't want to be a unilateral state or an isolationist as a nation. He is very much in tune with the international community. He has been a diplomat par excellence. I mean, we are American ambassador, just a weapon, what could be power. And he is very, 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 very careful with creative. They say they're good for we are doing Africa free continental trade. We will trade amongst ourselves as Africans, but the emphasis is Ghanaian entrepreneurs will be empowered. They will be the frontliners. That's why #1 of his agenda of GTP is the primacy of private sector. Ankwankwe Juma, yes, will be our TKJT or Kantamanto or Makola, we create J3. Acquire on one processing, we reduce import and solidify our export. That is the only strategy to make Ghana a better place. So you are bored there. Now air pro near to go. Why can we add value and do the chips here? If you add value, you package it well. On the planes, it can be served.
Friend Catherine Africa, former minister, tourism, art and culture, and I'm in NPP and New Year first interview.
Oh, wow.
Nyankopon ya Adom a da foforo.